Alfvén, so Alfvén is a Swedish scientist who becomes interested in plasma physics as applied to the cosmos. And he is aware of both Birkeland's work and the pioneering plasma physicist of the 1920s, who was Lev Landau in the Soviet Union, and Langmuir even earlier. So Langmuir was the first to name plasma, and he named it after what had been recently discovered in biology, plasma in blood. And it's funny, since our official name is Lawrenceville Plasma Physics, we still get phone calls from people saying, "Oh, can you do analysis of my blood?" We say, "It's not that kind of plasma." So Langmuir had named it plasma after blood plasma because he thought it acted almost like it was alive. It was so complex, so self-organizing that he thought that this was a good name for the phenomena. So working from Langmuir and from Birkeland, in the 1930s, Alfvén, who was significantly younger than Chapman, started to develop theories on all scales. So he was working to concretize and more concretely give mathematical descriptions of these force-free filaments in the aurora and in phenomena that were linking the sun to the earth, the geomagnetic storms, which everybody was concerned about then as now because they can be very destructive of technology. So he was confronted by the fact that Chapman was dominant in this field. And so he was held back in in people looking at his work. And he tells the story that he finally went to visit Chapman in England, and he absolutely couldn't engage Chapman in any sort of scientific discussion. Chapman would just shut him down. They would go walking around the campus of, I forget whether it was Oxford or Cambridge, one of these ancient camps. And, Chapman would be basically acting as a tour guide while Alfvén would be saying, "But in the case of the currents, don't you see that there's a contradiction between your theory?" And he would say, "And if you see this ancient building, this was built in 1256. So you
Amazing.
can imagine the comic, and not so comic. And when Chapman returned the favor and visited Alfvén, where they had reconstructed a working model of uh, Birkeland's Torello, Chapman absolutely refused to look at it. He only had to go down a few steps into the basement, and he just wouldn't do it. It was like the priests refusing to look through Galileo's telescope. So that was one big aspect that impeded the acceptance of Alfvén's ideas that were based directly on Birkeland's for further development. In the other direction, he started dealing with the Big Bang because Lemaitre had both suggested the Big Bang, which was known to really a very small number of scientists, and he had said that the key evidence, observational evidence for the Big Bang was cosmic rays, because people already could measure the energy of cosmic rays, and they knew that the energy of cosmic rays exceeded the energy of nuclear processes. So nuclear processes could produce particles up to 10, 15, 20 MeV, but not beyond. So he said nothing in the universe could have created these cosmic rays, which we see, everywhere in the earth. So they must have come from the Big Bang, because the Big Bang had this which now the Big Bang did not exist as a phrase. He called it the primeval atom.
Mm.
So this primeval atom, in our terms, like a giant neutron star, broke up, and that was the explosion that drove the Big Bang and the expansion of space.
It's astonishing what symmetry this has to the cosmic egg that's the creation myth of
Right,
countless cultures. That, like
right,
the
right,
egg hatches and from it emerges everything.
right. Yeah, and Alfvén made that point, that it was very similar to mythology, so it had big resonance. And Lemaitre was aware of that point. I mean, you know,
I
He
think I can't.
famous
he
Oh,
not
go ahead.
only was a priest, he was active in the hierarchy.
Yeah,
And
he famously had to tell the Pope to quiet down because the Pope was so excited about this new physical theory. He was like, "That's making us look bad."
Yeah,
Like,
he's like, you gotta stop telling people what an awesome theory this is.
tired of inflation, wars, and inequality caused by the energy crisis? LPPFusion is developing a solution that could allow everyone to have cheap, clean, off-grid, and sustainable fusion energy. Invest now as we seek to bring this potentially life-changing technology to market. For more information, visit wefunder.com/LPPFusion.